Hello, everybody. This is me, Greg, and so I'm just pretty much walking home. And I just wanted to say something. I had a miracle happen on this September 8th, which was Sunday, and I just wanted to tell you about it. So, pretty much, those of you know, on September 8th, I went to visit my mother's grave, pretty much on Long Island. And so after that, we went to one of the places that we like to go to called the Planting Fields, and it's a big area. It's on Arboretum, and the Arboretum, what it is it's like a tree museum. You know the song. They pave a parking lot. They say they pave paradise and they put up a parking lot kind of thing. Well, that's kind of what happened there. They didn't like pave parking lot, but honestly, what I'm trying to say is that pretty much it was a place that it's a tree museum, and it's we go there and it's a very nice place. So shortly after we got done with there, it's about 400 acres, and it's a lot of area, and it's like we were able to go in there and just walk around, and it was a good time. But after that, we got to our car and we started driving, and we got like, let's see, a little bit ways away, maybe about 2 or 3 miles away, or maybe a mile and a half away. And all of a sudden, the car cuts out, just completely cuts out. It's like dead in the water, So I was like, oh goodness, because I mean, we got this car like almost 2 years now, and what happened in the car is that you have a scenario where, when your car breaks down and you're away from home, it's always nerve-wracking. But it was kind of like God gave me a piece about this, like gave me like this is gonna work out. Not sure how, but it's gonna work out. So, so first thing I did, popped open the hood, tried to start the car, and then popped open the hood, and nothing was happening. There was no the car wasn't well. It was just kind of was kind of chugging a little bit. It would start for a split second, and then it would die. So all dashboard lights didn't come up. So I was looking to see which ones. Well, one the oil light came up, and then the engine light came up. Check engine light. So I was like, okay, well something's messed up with it. So I went over, opened, and I opened up took out the dipstick for the oil, and I put it in there, and then I took it out, and like we were low on oil. So anyway, what happens is that we have I went and got I pretty much I wasn't sure what to do because at that point it's like we're far from anything. I was stuck at a stop sign. So next thing what happened was like you have a thing where the a good Samaritan comes up and says, "Hey, here's some oil," and he gave me some oil, and it wasn't like I don't know sure what it was, but he gave me oil, and that was enough to get my car started. And then at that same time, a police officer rolled up behind us, and when they rolled up, they were able to an officer lady in the area we were at, she got up behind us and started talking to us. Started talking to me. I told her the entire situation. I thought maybe it was the oil, because it was like, why not, So we checked the oil, and we put a little bit of gas in it, and was able to get it started. And then it was like, so we got it started, and was able to drive to the end of the block, because she told me the next gas station was going to be like, not quite a ways away, but maybe like a mile or so around the corner. So we're gonna go straight and over, to be able to get to the location. So anyway, so so I'll see this real quick over again, just in case you want to pay attention, or maybe because I'm rambling too much. It's like our car stalled. We had to get oil, or it seemed like we needed oil. I opened up the hood, and a good Samaritan came along and gave me the only bit of oil that he had. And so with that, I was like, oh my goodness, thank you so much. And then he left. He just kind of appeared with his car and then left. He gave me like a little bit of oil. That oil was enough for us to get to the gas station, which was not too far away, maybe like a good distance. But you could walk there, but it'll take you like half an hour or so. Be able to drive there and get there within like maybe 3 minutes or so. Once we got there, we got into the parking lot. So then we got a full quart of oil, and then we started driving around the parking lot, trying to see what we can do, driving around the parking lot, see if we can get the car going. And it kept on cutting out, like it would stall out completely, So I was thinking maybe it's a battery, maybe it's a transmission, maybe it's the oil. So we got a quart of oil there, all right, I said it before, and I put it in there. And I think what had to happen at that point was the oil that the guy gave me was enough to get me there, but it wasn't enough to keep the car going. So I think the car had to burn out all the 10W 30 oil, and then pretty much my car runs in 5W 30. So I had to run out of 10W 30, had to be burnt out completely, and then after that was able for my car to start functioning. But a friend of ours called us and asked us what's up, and in the meantime, we started talking to him about the scenario, and we are trying to give him details, a play-by-play as to what was going on, and pretty much the car kept on cutting out, cutting out, cutting out, cutting out, cutting out, cutting out. Eventually, there was a part where we said, let's just call Geico and ask Geico if they can, give us a tow. And I really don't want to do that because, once you get your one free tow, it's kind of like, taking a day off from work or something. When you take off a day off from work and you're not really sick, when you are sick, you have to go to work because you have no more days left, or you're going to have to not get paid kind of thing. So if you go to a situation where you go to a car, they can use your one tow that you get for, I guess, your per policy, I guess, per year or whatever. Then what happens is that you have, even though you pay for it like every month, you have to, pretty much, you can only use it one time. So I really didn't want to use it the one time because I figure, that's like gold. So anyway, when it happened was like as we were like, we called Geico, and they said the nearest, tow truck that will help us on a Sunday is going to be about 3 hours out, right? And then they were able to call back a little bit and say, well, we got one for 2.5 hours. And I'm thinking, 2.5 hours sitting here? It's only going to take us about half an hour to get home. If I just drive, I walk, I can walk home before the tow truck can get here. So we said, you know what we're going to do? Let's go ahead and figure out what we can do. So we thought about it for a while, and I did a lot of praying, and I said, God, please help us, because this is, kind of a big thing, to have to, figure out how to, get home and everything, and not, like, stall out, because stalling out's a very bad thing. We had to stall out once before, 2008, on the, what was it? Oh goodness, what was it? The 8th? Was it the 6th? No, it was the 6th. On September 6th, 2008, we had to stall out, and we had a very bad car accident. And September is kind of a thing for this. So 2008, we had a car accident, and we got rear-ended on the highway. It's like, car stalled out then too. Anyway, so then we kind of ran out of gas. That's what happened on that one. But in that one, in this scenario here, we didn't run out of gas. It was pretty much, I think it was low oil, because when I got to the edge of the street, I said, dear God, I need to make this trip home, because if I don't make this trip home, it's like going to be expensive, because they're saying that only 2 people can fit on the tow truck, and there's 6 of us, and they're saying that pretty much only 6 people can fit. Only 6 of us, and there's only 2 can fit on a car, which means we have to get an Uber, or have to call my dad, or somebody, one of my friends, to come pick us up. And I don't want to do that at this time. I just want to pretty much get myself home. So then I say, you know what? Say, God, please help me do this. So the car would start, and the car would stop. So eventually, him and I tell him a 3-second story. It would take like half an hour to do it, and the car would start, the car would stop. And so I got to the edge of the street, and I said to myself, I'm going to just trust you, God, and ask you to help me get home. And so Amy was really kind of nervous about it. She was like, how in the world are we going to get home? The car still that we can get rear-ended. We don't want that to happen. And so what ended up happening was that we just got onto the road and we started driving. And the car continued. And I said to her, well, Ames, what we're going to do, we're going to jump from gas station to gas station. We go from one gas station to another gas station, and that's about, next one's going to be about a mile, because this is like Northern Boulevard here. So let's just keep going across until we get closer to home. So I said, okay, well, the car started, and we passed the first gas station, and then so we felt confident. We kept on going. Past the second gas station, we felt confident. We just kept on going. We passed the third gas station, kept on going. Fourth gas station, kept on going. We just kept on going. The car didn't stop. The car didn't slow. The car didn't stall. We just kept on going, and we were able to get all the way to McDonald's because our car, we got away to McDonald's, and we had to stop the car, not because it was like stalling out, because our left tire was starting to overheat. We had this. So you remember how before I was talking about the right tire was overheating? Well, now the left tire is starting to overheat. So starting to overheat, and we have to do a thing with the hub assembly and all that. Anyway, long story short, it didn't stall out. So we parked at a McDonald's for a little bit. Then after that, we went over to a Taco Bell. We called our friend who was praying for us to let him know that the car has been working. And we got back in the car, started driving some more, and we didn't stop until we got home. So when we got home, we parked the car. We said, thank you, Jesus, we got home. Thank you, Jesus, we got home. I thought about the police officer that helped us get there. The police officer kind of was guarding behind us, making sure that nobody was going to rear-end us. Thank God for the Good Samaritan. Gave us just a little bit of, maybe a quarter of a quart of oil, just so I can get to the gas station, so I can get the 5W30 for my car, and then motor oil for my car, and then Thank God for the fact that transmission didn't, give in or give out or anything like that. That they didn't burn the engine out. That the engine didn't seize up. Thank God for that. Thank God that we were able to just make this trip and get there and back. And the next day we were able to go to the picnic, the homeschool picnic. And so that was really good because, it's one of those things where you just say thank God because you're not sure exactly what's going to happen. And, in a sense, there's no point panicking. Just got to say trust God. The Bible said we walk by faith, not by sight. And God proved himself faithful. We didn't get rear-ended. We didn't get hurt. The car, maybe it was just one of those things. It just seemed like it was the oil. I did check the oil before I left. I do that on a regular. Before I leave, I check the transmission fluid. I check the oil. I was looking at the car for any leaks. There was no leaks. So I'm thinking maybe there's something happening to the thing where it's burning up the oil like crazy. But whatever it is, the car seized up. I mean, it just didn't seize up and stop. It just seized up and it just stopped, but didn't like seize up forever. It seized up and just stopped. It wouldn't start. Put a little bit of oil in it. Got that jammy working. I don't know. Whatever it was, praise God, it just hasn't come back again. So it was running rough before when they're trying to get it to start, And then when we put the oil in it, it continued to run rough until finally it stopped running. Stopped running rough and started running smooth again. We were able to get all the way home. The next day, we were able to drive to the the homeschool meeting, and that was great. And then today we were able to drive to Long Island a little bit to go do a meeting with somebody, talk about a new project we're going to work on, Lord willing. But for the most part, though, we were really happy to the fact that, the car has been working pretty good. We still have to get it fixed up. Our left caliper needs to be fixed up because that jammy gets hot. Before it was our right caliper, now it's our left caliper. I think it's the hub assembly. Anyway, long story short, just want to say thank you so much for listening to the story. Just want to say it was a miracle. God blessed us with an opportunity to see his hand work and to get us home safely. We didn't have to spend any money on an Uber, didn't have to get another way home, didn't have to wake up any of my friends or family to come get us. We were able to solve this one on our own by the grace of God, but it was really God who opened it and protected us from all kind of things. There's so many ways. Something else I want to say today, well, I can't really get into much detail about it, but sometimes the thing that you think about is going to work on, or you think they're going to work a certain way, sometimes it's the other way around, that works out. Something that you don't think, maybe the most painful way is the way you have to go. It's like the rocky road versus the smooth path, You think that maybe the smooth path is better, but you realize that it's actually, it's just been freshly paved, and now you're paved. So now you're going to walk on that, and your shoes are going to get stuck in the smooth path. Whereas the rocky path is going to be something that's going to help you. I don't know, it's a bad analogy, but my point was just that one of those things where sometimes we think that something is going to be better. The easy route is actually the worst. The worst route is actually the better, and don't understand it, but that's how it happens. So I want to thank you so much for listening. Those who listen to this one, thank you so much. I'm just talking about a miracle that happened to me, and thank God for that. So peace and God bless. Have a good night, and talk to you soon. Please like and subscribe. All right, bye.